Welcome to 5 films, everybody. Random people picking random movies and thrusting them in front of the camera. It's just the Criterion closet, isn't it? Well, yes and no. Certainly the Criterion closet was an influence, but primarily wanted to do a regular feature that features regular people. The thing is, though, nobody here is regular. Everyone's taste and passion is incredibly unique and diverse. And that's what I want to celebrate. Think of these segments as a glimpse into the conversation between me and one of my customers as I talk to them about potential rentals. What are these 5 films, or what do they have to be? Well, it's completely up to the person taking part. Yes, they could simply choose 5 favorites, just 5 of the best. But why not do things a little different? You know, you've got the ability to do whatever you want. So maybe a film that changed your life, a film that you like, but very few people do. A film that proved inspirational, maybe. A film you watch more than anybody you know, perhaps. Or a film that you didn't like years ago, but now you've grown to appreciate it. You get the gist of it. This is open to anybody who resides in or is able to get to the Merseyside region. Filming can be done at any point during the day, as it's literally just 5 setups of around about 2 minutes each. So yeah, you're talking about each film for about 2 minutes. Get in touch via WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, or in store if you'd like to give it a shot at some point. It'd be great to hear from you. Without further ado, though, here's the pilot with Gaz Elliott. Gaz is a singer-songwriter who records under the name From Over the Water. His debut album, Seekers of the Shrine, was met with critical acclaim, but more importantly, he's been a customer at Snips now for just over 15 years. Enjoy. Gaz, thank you for doing 5 films. When you're ready.
Okay, film 1 is a film called Cashback by Sean Ellis. Sean Ellis' directorial debut, in fact. And the film itself stars one of the characters. It's called Ben. He's broken up with his girlfriend. He struggles. He has a little bit of... He's perturbed by the way in which his girlfriend has actually moved on with his life. And he develops this insomnia, not by choice. He just becomes an insomniac, and one way in which he actually copes with that problem is he takes the night shift working at his local supermarket. And I know this sounds absolutely riveting, but I have to say it's an incredible piece, beautifully observed, because Ben himself is actually an artist. And if you suspend disbelief, Ben has the ability to pause time in real time to enable him to sketch all of the colourful characters that frequent the store. And it's an absolutely incredible piece. I don't actually know anybody else, you probably will, that has actually rented this film. I don't know anybody else that's seen it. Every time I mention this film, nobody knows what I'm talking about. It really deserves to be seen by more people than it has been. It's an absolutely phenomenal film. As I say, directorial debut by Sean Ellis. He went on to do some fantastic films like Metro Manila, but this is the more understated understudy, I guess, to some of those films. Film number 2 is Coherence by James Ward Burkett. Again, it's a directorial debut, and it is an absolutely fantastic piece. It's up there in the sci-fi section, loosely termed sci-fi, because this is not a rip-roaring roller coaster ride through space. There's very little in the way of science fiction in this film, but it's an absolutely fantastically, beautifully observed piece of work. A dinner party amongst friends is the mise-en-scène for this piece. And the point of discussion is a once-in-a-lifetime event, which is a passing meteor. Meteor overhead, discussion ensues, but many, many, many strange events start to unfold as this meteor passes overhead, which touches on themes like identity, parallel universes, choice. It's an absolutely fantastic piece of work, and it was a whimsical choice by myself. So I'd heard that there was this completely unscripted film, and I thought, let me check this out, because it is actually true that this film, the cast weren't given a script in the conventional way in which you would imagine. The cast were given a premise where they were saying, you're going to act disappointed when this person says this, or you're going to be surprised when this person walks in through the door. And that was it. To the point whereby the cast and some of the crew didn't actually know how the film was going to finish until they saw it in the festivals. It's absolutely incredible. But this is truly it's a hidden gem. It's what I would call an unsung hero, and more people should watch this. It's absolutely fantastic. It will have you rewinding the film to see what you've missed, possibly even starting it right from the start, like I do very often. I actually own this film. I love it. Film 3 is this delightful piece called Timecrimes by a guy called Nacho Vigalondo. And again, I'm not doing this on purpose, but this was a directorial debut. And it's an absolute classic in that regard. So let me tell you about Hector. Hector is relaxing in his back garden one sunny afternoon, peering through his binoculars, as is customary in Spain apparently. But he sees what he thinks is a naked woman in the distance, just on the horizon. So he decides to, as you would, go and investigate that. Upon investigating said woman, he's attacked by a man, we assume, whose face is completely obscured by pink bandages. It's incredibly eerie. It's quite a terrifying scene, to be honest with you. This guy in the bandages. But what ensues is a catastrophic series of events when Hector discovers a time machine, and it's not a theoretical, he walks through a beam of light and goes into another parallel universe. He actually finds a physical time machine with which he can travel through time by an hour and a half. Incidentally, and what's quite an interesting fact about this film is the scientist that he encounters with this time machine is actually Nacho Vigalondo, who's the director. And what he then does is he then travels through time, he tries to change events, and the themes that this film touches on are fate, self-fulfilling prophecies, all encapsulated by this Hitchcockian sense of tension and drama. And it's an absolutely fantastic piece of work. I think, to be honest with you, Dave might confirm that nobody's rented this more than I have in this shop. I absolutely love this film, and I'm constantly reviewing it. I just think it's an absolute brilliant piece. Film number 4 is Cyrano de Bergerac by Jean-Paul Rappeneau. Cyrano himself is a notorious swordsman. He is short on patience, long on nose. And his abnormally large proboscis stifles his confidence, especially in the romance department, you see, because Cyrano is in love with his cousin. And yes, I know that sounds very, very weird, but this is a period piece. It's based on a play that was written in 1897, so we make allowances for that. So he's in love with his cousin Roxanne, and you'll be familiar with Roxanne from the Steve Martin film. Slightly different spelling, similar story. But he doesn't know how to express these feelings. So he enlists the help of this dashing young cadet that he works with to deliver this message. Christian, the cadet, is also in love with Roxanne, and similarly, he knows not how to deliver his message of love to her. So the two collaborate in an ingenious plan where Cyrano writes this beautifully scripted prose and poetry to deliver to Roxanne. Christian delivers that below Roxanne's balcony bedroom one night. All the while, Roxanne believes that those words have been penned by Christian, which of course they haven't. So it's a very, very romantic story. It's actually very sad in parts. It's an incredible piece of work in terms of the costume design, the set design. It won multiple awards in France and actually all over the world. But it's a particularly important piece for me because I studied French when I was in school. It was my introduction to French cinema, if you like. I studied it from GCSE right through to A-level and into college as well. And one of the things that you have to do in A-level is you've got to listen to French radio, you've got to watch French news, and you've got to watch French cinema. And of course, I went through Jacques Tati and Truffaut and all the usual suspects, but this was the piece that really, really stood out for me. And I think following watching this film, I think I watched everything that Gérard Depardieu had been in. Gérard Depardieu, of course, playing Cyrano himself. And so it's a really, really important piece, and it's absolutely beautifully shot. And I think it is really, really going to, as a period piece, is going to stand the test of time. Really should be viewed by a lot more people. And last, and by no means least, film 5, which is Secret Santa by Adam Marcus. The reason I've picked this film is because I wanted to watch a Christmas movie. It was a Christmas movie with a difference, admittedly. And, you know, let's talk about this because nothing says Christmas like a March spring afternoon. But it is it's a family festive frolicking romp. It's a dysfunctional family within the movie. Heavy on the dysfunction, to add an extra layer of spice to the plateau. One of the key protagonists in the film has spiked the family punch bowl with a military-grade truth serum. Let the mayhem ensue. So, I mean, what starts out as relatively harmless, well, not so much harmless, but, you know, some sharp barbs and sort of nondescript ad hominems descends into an absolute verbal nuclear war. Nobody is safe from a veritable tongue lashing. But it's not just the dialogue which is hilarious and well scripted in this film. It's actually, I mean, it really is it's one of those films that descends into utter madness. I didn't know this at the time, but it comes with a warning, I guess. This is not the type of film that you can sit down with your nan and watch. You know, this is, you know, there's the gratuitous violence. Some of the characters are crass and abrasive. And to be fair, you don't really like any of them. By the end of the film, whether dead or alive, you do actually start to like them because there's just a camaraderie within this film. And I think that was borne out of the fact that the film took somewhere in the region of 10, 11 days to shoot from start to finish. It's a really, it was a fast piece to get it actually completed, and there's a real camaraderie in the group of people that form the characters in this film. It's, as I say, it's not for the faint-hearted. But if you want to watch a Christmas movie, look no further. It's my favourite one. Was that all right?